Luxury, comfort, documents. The innocent vehicles is committed to the future of the African continent by building eco-friendly vehicles with zero threat to the ecosystem. Innocent vehicles, the pride of African goals. Your online sales, payments, and transfers can go like this.
I'm sorry, sir. Please, I've still not seen alert. Are you sure it has run?
Or like this. Thank you. Your business delivery can go like this. There's a package.
All right, so
Or this.
you guys remember
So you should have it now.
architecture?
When is your app to transact?
No,
I thought you said there's no service charges or
our diagram, our usual diagram.
Or this.
Let's see what our connection will look like.
So,
Okay, this is our VPC.
every time you try to pay or get
I
paid,
mean, C must always be in a region, right?
choose ease, choose corporate.
Is that correct?
Proudly sponsored by Pocket by PiggyVest.
So then you have your VPC.
Association with
What's this? What kind of diagram is this? You have your VPC this way. Okay. So and your VPC okay, this can even be here. Okay, following my diagram. So you can have your public subnets here, then your private subnets here. This will be hosting your RDS. Just get the understanding. Don't mind the diagram. So this will be hosting your EC2 instance.
How are you coping? Well, it's all about your priorities first. When this competition is competition, after that, well, you put in other things into play here. So, in as much as
yes, so this is my EC2 instance.
All still love and life eventually. Yeah. So we compete and then relax. Are your kids on Saturday night?
So my VPC.
Plans for this after the show? We're doing. Well, let the 2 months elapse. Let's take a look at your journey.
VPC. My AZ1. You remember? AZ1 here. Then I wish I can just duplicate this diagram. I wish I can just duplicate this other box. AZ1B. So that I don't have to draw this. Okay, so I'll just quickly run through it. Public, public, private, RDS. Then AC2. Then UBS. As they go now. Alright, so let's move on. Then you have usually connecting to your like we said, don't allow customers to or your users to log into your EC2 URL directly. So what do you have here?
Your load balance.
Nice one. Nice one. That's HLB. So your HLB would create a connection to these two guys. And what do we always have here as well? We always have something here.
ASG.
Okay. Chelsea, I'm not hearing your voice.
Yeah, SG or firewall.
It's not SGO, ASG, auto
ASG.
scaling group.
ASG. Oh, okay.
Yeah, auto scaling group. All right. So, what else are we missing out? We have our AZ1B, AZ1A. So, um, the thing is, we might not. Okay, yeah, I think we would necessarily go through it because we'll be creating ELB. We'll be creating ELB. But what I want us to look at tonight is what I call where's my text? Reducing latency for application with Amazon Cloudfront. So you're learning another tool tonight. Amazon Cloudfront. All right, cool. So that's the topic for tonight: how to reduce latency for applications with Amazon Cloudfront. Okay, so a scenario will come to your head with this. Now, you know, our VPC, everything we are deploying is in Northern Virginia region, right?
Yeah.
And you know what's where Northern Virginia region covers the US.
Yeah.
You understand? US East. All right. So let's assume we have a couple of guys. A couple of guys. Let's see. Let's assume we have a couple of guys. These are people, human beings. We have a couple of guys, and we have another set of guys here. So I'm moving forward. I'm leaving you guys with the last class. So you guys can sort that out. You have every necessary tool.
The last class?
Yes, I mean the last. Yeah, I think that should be the last two classes now. That's the one that you guys have not completed.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying this is
Yeah.
gonna be the last class.
No, no, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
All right, so look at this. Assuming you have guys connecting from Mumbai, now this is another region entirely. Mumbai is in which part of the world?
India.
India, good.
Yeah.
And assuming you have another set of guys connecting from, say, um, uh, which region is Australia?
I don't know.
Okay, so let me just put Australia here because I know Australia is a bit far too.
Okay.
Australia. Australia. Okay, so you have guys connecting to your instance from, or to your network from Mumbai, then Australia. Now,
Australia is not part of the
and you
region.
guys remember that Australia is not part of what?
The regions available on the
It,
AWS.
um, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Not sure. We need to confirm that. But, but um, Of course, definitely you can create your you can create your applications or you can deploy your application in any region of your choice. But depending on where your customer base is most dense, that's what will determine where you should actually uh, create your probably your VPC, your instance, or anything that you want to create, so that you won't start wasting a lot of money on where you don't have too much um, presence. Understand?
Yeah.
Those are the things you need to consider when deploying stocks on AWS, so that you won't start wasting money. Like, assuming in Northern Virginia region, you have like 20,000 people connecting per day, and probably in Mumbai, you have maybe 50 people connecting from Mumbai. You understand? Does it make sense leaving the 20,000, or now setting up a new region, a server in a new region to say you want to deploy your application? Still doesn't make sense because of 50 people. Though they are still your customers, but there are different ways you can go about that rather than setting up a new server. Yeah, that's what's reducing latency for applications. So the essence of this is now you deploy the application in Northern Virginia region, and these guys are trying to reach out to your application. They are trying to make use of the application from Mumbai, from Australia. Now, what happens is the time it will take for people in Mumbai and Australia to load your application, the TTL, the time it will take for these people to reach your application will take a while. It will take a while. So, what happens is now, if people in Northern Virginia region, let me try to create a few guys in Northern Virginia region as well. Say these guys are from Northern Virginia region.
Unfortunately, we can't have Christy on the stage right now. She's on the right thing on mic. She says she can't.
Not necessarily Northern Virginia. Say New York. Say New York. All right. So if these people are trying to connect to your application, it's could take them maybe like um 5 seconds to load. Why is my mouse drawing like this? 5 6 5 seconds. So these guys connecting from Mumbai, it might take them like say um let's say 1 minute. 1 minute. And judging it, let me do for Australia, for people from Australia, let's assume it takes them 55 seconds.
Is your microphone working now?
Yeah,
Okay.
55 seconds.
Question.
Now, the experience that the kind of experience that these people in New York are having is quite different from the people from Mumbai and Australia. Now, okay, from your own perspective, how long does it take you to, like you're trying to load an application on the internet? How long does it take you before you lose interest in loading an application? Like an application keeps loading and loading and loading. How long does it take you to lose interest in loading a particular URL?
Well, on this Sunday,
5 seconds.
another week ahead of you. First of all, everyone is
Yeah,
safe.
it takes you 5 seconds. You want which kind of life is this one now?
If you're not in Nigeria, 5 seconds. If you're in Nigeria, let's say, let's say 10, 15.
Ouch. Ouch. Yeah. So for me, give and take. I think if it's a website that I so like, I just want to see the content. Let's say maybe 20 seconds. Uh, I lose interest. I lose interest within 20 seconds. But say an application that probably I'm just searching randomly, and of course I have other options. Once it's taking me 30 seconds, I lose interest in viewing the application or the URL. So not to talk of people trying to sorry. Not to talk of people trying to view an application for 1 minute, 55 seconds. They will have lost interest like within a minute. Now, what is Cloudfront going to do for us? Cloudfront. What is Cloudfront? So Cloudfront, let me just okay, let's even search the meaning of Cloudfront. Cloudfront. Okay. What is Cloudfront? Amazon platform. Sorry. Bullshit. So what is Amazon platform doing? Amazon platform securely delivers content with low latency and high transfer speed. We are getting the gist now. Securely delivers content with low latency and high transfer speed. It reduces latency by delivering data through 410 globally dispatched points of mapping and intelligent routing. Improve security with traffic encryption and access control, and use AWS Shield standard to defend against DDoS attack, denial of service, at no additional charge. Cut costs with consolidated requests, customizable pricing options, and zero fee for data transfer. Okay. Oh my god.
Sorry.
All right. Customize the code you run on at the AWS Content Delivery Network Edge using serverless compute resources. Okay. Moving on. All right. All right. So this is the diagram that has the idea of so CloudFront. Amazon CloudFront is a content delivery network service built for high performance security and developer convenience. So let's see end user traffic. End users are your customers coming from different places. All right. So see what CloudFront does. CloudFront creates um, edge locations and different availability zones. Different availability zones. It creates edge location. So what happens is wherever you have these edge locations, when your customers, say from Mumbai, are trying to okay, let me bring in CloudFront. Let's see CloudFront. This is where you have your CloudFront. So I'll just do CF. So and CF could possibly be connected directly to your ELB. Okay. So now I think I'll go over this guy. So what you have is you have different edge locations. You have different edge locations for your CloudFront. These are different locations from which users are connecting from. Different edge locations. You could have different edge locations. These are edge locations. Edge location. You can write it down in your note. I'll just put EL here. These are edge locations. So CloudFront uses edge locations to um, distribute applications content to users that are not within the um, region where you deployed your application. So say people from mobile are trying to access your, on a normal day, what we do is we give them the ELB URL, Elastic Load Balancer URL to connect with. Now, but in this case, what you are going to be giving them is the CloudFront URL. So that's also gives you like an additional security layer such that people will not be accessing your ELB directly, but they'll be accessing your CloudFront. So that means when you are configuring your CloudFront, when you are configuring your CloudFront, what's how do you control the security? How do you control this? Can you somebody should unmute his a mic and tell me how do you control the traffic, or how do you control security since they will be connecting through CloudFront now and not through ELB?
Load balancer.
No, I'm saying how do you control security? How do you manage security?
The ESG.
No. So what I'm expecting is now. Do you want to give it a try?
No, you can go on.
Okay, so what I'm expecting is now, since they will not be connecting through your ELB again, that means your ELB would not be open to the internet. Your ELB will only grant access to CloudFront, where CloudFront would now grant access to people on the internet directly. They will be connecting directly to your CloudFront and not to your ELB. ELB will only grant through the security group access to CloudFront. So far you have granted access to CloudFront via ELB. Everything that should load on the ELB will now be loaded on CloudFront, and people on the internet can have access to your applications via the CloudFront URL. So okay. So now CloudFront is, like I said, is a content delivery service. Is a content network delivery CDN, content delivery network service rather, that helps to reduce latency of applications in AWS with edge locations. Like I've explained edge locations, but there's a bit of more explanation to do here. So now CloudFront is able to enhance content delivery to regions outside the region where an application is deployed for easy accessibility. So now, for the first person that tries to connect to your application, let's say this Oluku guy is coming from Mumbai to access your application. Now, definitely, definitely, what happens is, now it takes the first guy 1 minute since he's coming from a different region. It takes the guy 1 minute to fetch the information or to load a URL, to load your URL. Now, when the guy loads your URL, platforms would automatically look for the closest edge location. Let's say this is the closest edge location um, to your customer that is searching from Mumbai. It automatically keeps, you know what cache is? Can somebody unmute and tell me what the meaning of this guy is? Cache. Or cache, anything you call it. Do anybody understand what this means?
a lot on my computer.
Kind of.
Okay, so like in one sentence, just explain what it means.
It's like it's not like archiving or something.
Yeah, more like archiving or saving like a
Stashing it
temporary.
somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, saving something in a temporary location. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So what Cloudfront does is it looks for the closest edge location to your customer and saves the information. Saves the information. So assuming I open my um I'm still bringing up my own website. I'm not sure. Okay. I think I wanted to connect it to. So, guys, if you have the money, it's not compulsory. You can buy a domain. But I think if you want to buy a domain, buy it on AWS. Buy a domain because in the next few classes, instead of giving users, um, this CloudFront URL or the ELB URL, what I want us to be giving users is probably www.benny.com or www.chelsea.com. You understand? So that will be a custom domain, but it comes at a price. I already purchased mine some like a few days ago, but not on AWS. Not on AWS. I bought it outside AWS, so I will need to do like some additional configuration
How
for it
much
to
is
work.
it?
But
How
with
much is it?
buying it on AWS make it easier to manage. It makes it. I got mine from GoDaddy at the rate of um, 14 point something dollar. So 14 I think for 14.9 something dollar.
Okay.
So I think on AWS it might be lesser than that, probably $12 or thereabouts. To make it, but it's still not bad. At least it's an experience for me. Connecting a domain a third party domain. It's somewhat an experience. So what I want to do is host my own website, my personal website on AWS and connect it to my third party domain which I'd already created. It won't be up now. It'll be because I've not deployed it yet. So that's the guy. But it won't work now. So I want to deploy my personal website on that URL.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
What
so
is the
let's move on.
website about?
So that's just an information for the coming classes. So in
Okay.
case you have the money, you can just map.
I was
I didn't get that.
asking what's the website about the Shukuru website? Is it about the cloud or the cloud computing stuff?
It's just about me. I'm hosting my personal website on it. My let's say um my if you want to know more about me, my career so far, things that I've done, and of course, I'm going to be adding a couple of things as well, um, including this course that is ongoing. I'm going to be adding, um, I'm going to be sharing probably the link on the platform as well. A lot of things I'm going to do on the
Okay.
website.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so now what happens is when the first guy comes to CloudFront URL and try to fetch the application's URL, now CloudFront automatically saves the page that the guy had requested to an edge location that is close to the guy, such that when next the guy is coming, so when next the guy is coming to fetch the same information, rather than taking 1 minute to fetch the information, the TTL, the time to load TTL drastically reduces. So say I don't want to say 5 seconds now, but let's say 7 seconds. So instead of loading for 1 minute, it now loads for 7 seconds. So with this, it gives your customers like a much improved experience reaching your application. Now, a couple of when assuming we now have more guys trying to fetch the information, the same information, it takes instead of taking them 1 minute in the first instance, it won't take them for 1 minute again. It will now keep taking them probably 7 seconds or less, 7 seconds or less. So that's the way it happens um, in other regions as well. Other regions as well. So what Cloudfront does is once the first guy fetches the information of yeah, we know it will take maybe like 55 seconds, then 1 minute. Once the first guy fetches the information and it saves in an edge location, it automatically reduces the TTL, the time to load for the application. And other people trying to access the application will now have a reduced TTL accessing the application. Is that if you have the understanding of what CloudFront is doing now?
Yeah.
Do you have an idea of what CloudFront is doing now?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So what we want to achieve is reduce the time to load, reduce how long it takes for the application to load for customers that are not within the region where we deployed an application. That's the aim. That's the aim of reducing latency for application with Amazon CloudFront. Now,
But for customers
let's.
within, they automatically like the time is being reduced automatically, right? Because I
What's
noticed
that?
for customers, the cloud front is basically for customers that are like not within a specified region zone, right?
Yeah, not it still wouldn't make sense that you give a URL to people like you give a URL to people in Northern Virginia region and another URL to people in Mumbai. So you're still going to be giving them the same URL. So apparently the same function is going to be served across the region where people are trying to access your application. So it will work for all. It will work for all. We have different edge locations all around the world. Different edge location. Like I don't know the distance. An edge location is like a data center as well. It's like a is like yeah let me call it a data center. You know what a data center is, right? Or a server house, like a server room.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like an edge location is just like a data center. So let's not call it like it's a data center somewhere somewhere around the world. Like they are in different locations. So like I don't know the number that we have in Nigeria, but in Nigeria now we could have maybe 10 edge locations possibly. We could have maybe like 10 edge locations in Nigeria. In what's it called? In let's say Belgium, we could have maybe like 7 edge locations. In different parts of the world, we could have different edge locations. So the
Okay.
closest edge locations to a customer is where the content is being served from. Content of an application is being served from. Yeah. So that's majorly. All right. So we have a lot of work to do now. So I'm going to rush this until I get to CloudFront. I would slow down a bit when I get to CloudFront. You guys know all of this. You guys know how to set up all of this already. All of this. You can set up all of this. So and I wouldn't be using or should I just go no. I will not be using I won't use my default VPC. I'll create a new VPC. So this is a rush hour. Rush hour. That's where we are. So let's move. Let's move. AWS console. Where's my phone? Let me get my. Ah, man. Another hold up that I have tonight is my internet. It's not loading as fast as I expected. I want to move as fast as possible. Okay, my code. password is going to expire again. So my region, as usual, Northern Virginia region. I know my region. My region knows me. So look at the regions, supported regions. See, we even have in Mumbai. Well, I just use that as an example, though.
Yeah, but there's no Australia there.
Yes, yeah, we have in Hong Kong, we have in Milan, London, Ireland, Frankfurt, Paris, Stockholm, Berlin. Where is Bahrain?
Middle East. I in Western
We have in
Asia.
South America. This is for the Brazilians. This Middle East. I'm suspecting this Middle East. This Middle.
That's Asia.
Okay.
Western Asia.
Okay. Okay. See, Canada has its own. Osaka.
Ah, there's Sydney. Asia's Pacific. Sydney.
Western
I
Asia.
think that's for Australia, the Sydney.
Okay, Osaka, right?
Yeah, the Sydney.
Okay, we have Singapore. A lot in India, sir. A lot in the what's it called? A lot in the East region. Yeah, Asia Pacific Sydney. Okay, let's move on. Let's not disturb ourselves around it. So first thing first, let me create my VPC since I'm going to be using a private VPC. Let me just be doing multiple things at the same time. Duplicate and duplicate. I want to do multiple things at the same time. So let's then load. I'm doing my VPC here. Then my S3 bucket. I think I have something I can use in S3 bucket already. So if I'm using something in S3 bucket, I can't use it since I'm going to be connecting my database. My database is important. So what I can do is, um, let me see if I can edit inside S3 bucket. If I can edit the file inside S3 bucket, that would be nice. Else, I might have to take it out. Ah, Jesus, what's this now? Hey, let me check S3 from there. And let me check what can I create from there. RDS. RDS used to take time, so let me create our so edge location, edge. Why these guys are loading? Was the network?
Called him and I was like, bro, how do you do this? Like, you don't know what I'm saying. But it's just sad that it didn't happen to me happen. But legitimately speaking, there's no obligation. There's always a choice. There's always a choice. If you don't take that choice, all somebody can do beside you is to tell you
So what's this? What's
but
happening
it's your
here?
choice to make that decision.
Wow. Let's walk. Wow, I think I need to change this network. I can't deal with this. Let me just connect to. Let me connect to another internet. I can't deal with this. This will take time.
Okay.
I don't want it to take time. I don't want this clock, and this is 8:30 already. So I need it to run within the next 30 minutes. We should be done.
Yeah, do you know how many people in this house have had that conversation about alcohol with that?
Huh? So I want to change my network.
You understand? We'll come back, we'll go back to that party, we'll come back, we'll enjoy, everywhere.
Okay, let's move on. I'm creating my BPC. Um, okay. Let me load this guy again too. Load. So you guys can be bringing up your question in the course of this. So let me be fast with this. Create VPC. Um, so I'll just name this guy CD project. Platform. I mean, yeah, no, not CD. CF. Platform project. Yeah. So moving on with this. Yeah, I'll leave it at 10.0.0.6/16. Okay, availability zone 1A and B. Moving on, you guys know this already. I'm going to change this to 24. This is going to be 124 for 256 IPs. 24 to moving on 24 3. Okay, fine. Okay, should I NAT gateway? NAT gateway, yeah. I'm going to let's do NAT gateway in 1AZ. In 1AZ, yeah.
Okay.
That means I'm going to be incurring some cost tonight again. Somebody is saying something.
I said okay.
Okay, so let's move. You guys know this already, so there's no need to waste time on this. So let me just cross check. Yeah, I have my internet gateway, my NAT gateway. Okay, create VPC. Move on. So let me check what's in my S3 buckets. If I can actually edit this. When did I create this? 31st of July, 13th of July. Okay, bucket with RDS. I think that should have what I'm looking for. So, my config file. Let me see if I can edit it from here. If I can't edit it, I can always bring it in. So let me start creating my database as well. Databases. Do I have anyone there? Okay, create database. Okay, standard creates MySQL. Um, no, what's that? Standard create. Uh, no.
It's
Some
supposed to be free tier. You use
yeah, I'm
like
looking for free here. I'm not seeing
it's
that.
down. You use like the Vel test
Okay.
and
Ah, I was looking for it. I couldn't see it before now. Okay, so I've gotten it now. So I mean, Cloudfront database, Cloudfront database. So my password, I'm going to retain my usual password for this as fast as possible. I'm moving. Okay, bus table class T2 micro is what I want to use. Storage type, I'm going to allocate 10 gig. Enable auto scaling, I'm not enabling that. Okay, I need my VPC. Damn, I need my VPC. Is my VPC done now? Yeah, it's done. Let me view my VPC. So let me just, I'm not sure I'll be able to, okay, I can refresh this. So yeah, CF project VPC, so it's up. So subnet group, this is where the thing is now. Subnet group. I need to create a DB subnet group. Okay, so let me just duplicate this guy as well. Let me see if I can create my subnet group from my subnet group. Do you guys see how I'm creating my subnet group?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm creating DB subnet groups, Cloudfront, DB sub subnet. Okay, you guys know this already. No, the first one, availability zone. So I'm going to select these two guys and my private VPCs, my private subnet rather. So let me go to, I'll select my newly created VPC here. I'm going to click on subnet to see my private subnet. So these are my private subnets. In US is 1A and B. So this is 29963 then BA63. So coming here 9963 BA63. Yeah, those are the guys. Hope you guys are following. I'm moving as fast as possible. So, and you know when you are creating your subnet group, it has to be for your DB, it has to be the private subnet, right? You have to select the private subnet. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's create. Okay, so wait, okay, CFDB subnet, that's the name. So let me go back to my database and let's refresh this, guys. Let's refresh this. Okay, yeah. So it has automatically selected my subnet group that I just created. Now let's move on. Let's see. Do we have an existing security group that we can use? Let me see. No, not in this VPC. So I need to create a subnet group for this VPC. CF uh, CF security group. CF security group. So that's what I'm. So I'm not going to give a preference to availability zone for this, like I always do. I don't give a preference to this. So this 3306, that's the DB ports. Let me move on it up a bit again. Additional configuration. I'm not going to initialize this because I want to initialize from install.php. So let's create. Let's create. Okay, we're done with this. Subnet group is being created. I mean, my database is being created. I need words from here. I need what? What do I need from here?
The endpoint.
Nice one. So let me see what my bucket is telling me. Can I edit? I'm not sure. Okay, let me see. Let me see. I'm not sure. Let me see. Let me try it out. I can't. I can't edit apparently. So what I'll do is I'm going to delete the content of this bucket and I'm going to upload a fresh one.
Again,
Yeah, I'm going to delete the content since
because of the
uh
config.
yeah, because of the config.
Okay.
Permanently delete. By 9 o'clock, I'm sure we should be done. Sure, we should be done. So let me go to where my cloud computing, my demo codes, my dynamic sites with DBDs. Okay, so I'm going to edit this guy. Okay, moving on. Let's see what has been created now. Let's see if my VPC. No. What am I looking for? I'm looking for my database endpoints. Okay, this is still loading. Let's wait for this guy to be done. Then what else can we start creating? No, nothing apparently. Nothing. Now let us start creating our EC2 instance as well. Let me go to EC2 then. We have a lot to do. We are creating load balancer too. I'm not creating ASG. I'm not creating ASG. So I'll just connect it directly from myself. I'll create two EC2 instances, then connect directly. I'm not, I'm not doing ASG tonight. It should have been nice, but no, I'm not doing that. This guy is not here. Cloudfront web server. Okay, you guys know this already. T2 micro key pair. I'm going to select one of my key pairs. Then VPC. I'm going to edit this. And okay, there's something I need to do here. I've not completed my setup here. So I need to enable edit subnet settings, then enable auto assign.
These
Then
are
the
the
second
public subnet, right?
for the public subnet, yeah. The second one as well. Edit subnet group. Okay. Enable. Okay. Okay, so can you see that it has been enabled now by itself? I didn't do anything. So I just refreshed channel. It picked it automatically because I had enabled it in my security group. I mean in my VPC, my public subnet rather. So let's see. This guy should be done by now. Why? Why is it taking time to load this? Wow. Okay, let me move on. Security group. Do I have an existing security group I can use? Not CF security group. Can we use this security group? Apparently, I'm not so sure. Let me check. Let's check. Let's check if we can use that security group. You know what we always look out for in our security group now.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's see if this guy has it. Let's see if this guy has it. I'm not sure he's going to have it. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It does not. It does not. So I'm going to create a new security group. I'm going to create a new security group here. CF security group. Okay, let's move on. SSH port 22, my IP, add additional HTTP, um, anywhere, anywhere first of all, then HTTPS, and anywhere first. I'll change it later. So let's move on. Let's give add volume, advanced detail. I am profile. I
The
use my existing I
SSH.
am
Did you
profile.
check that?
Is that?
The SSH.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I said, what about SSH for the inbound rules?
Inbound. I did that already.
Okay.
I did that. That was the first thing I did. SSH.
Okay.
So moving on. What else am I selecting here? Shutdown behavior. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to drop my data here. Where's my data? Let me pick up my data from somewhere here. No, this is not updated. Okay, this is the one I'm using. So let me just replace what I have here. And so it's the same thing. I just added this bash, bin bash stuff. That's the only thing I added. So I want to run it from onset. What's happening, guys? I don't understand. Why is this thing taking time? We should have dropped our database. Um, we're still waiting. Why is this thing taking time like this? It doesn't take as long as this before now. So why?
Probably your network.
I think so. Maybe I should just refresh this page. I hope it doesn't terminate what I'm reloading the page. It's taking too much time for me. I hope I've not terminated what I'm doing. Okay, still creating. They said we should take chill pill, and this is actually what is holding. This is actually what is holding us up right now. How much is it? Oh, this thing, man. What kind of database are we creating tonight? Oh? I don't get energy for this long wait. And I'm trying to do this database because of you guys. So I could have used another thing. Maybe I should use another thing and move forward from this database.
Okay. Like another database created or
Like, no, not another data. Like, I'm going to use another application, not this one that has database.
okay.
Because this is taking too much time for me. I don't know what the guy is creating. It's taking too much time. Oops. It's taking longer than I expected. Okay. Okay. You know what I will do? Let's move. You guys might need to. You, of course, you know how to create database. So it's just to get our database up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just move on with another. I mean, another. Yeah, let me move on with this. So I'm going to change my bucket's name. So that means I'm not using Can you hear me, Lo? Sorry. Alright, so let me move on with this. Let me change this bucket name and just launch straight up. Let's move. There's no time to start waiting for this yeah, guy. No have the time. Okay. Let me launch this. That means the DBA thing that I created is a waste. Wow. What? It's not a problem though. We still make use of our public subnet. I don't move. So let's go on.
Okay.
I'm launching my instance straight up. Alright, so let me view instance. Let me view instance. Okay. Once the instance is fully launched, I'm going to create um okay, let me create an AMI from what would have from this instance. So let me create an AMI. So we use our AMI to launch another instance in another availability zone. Okay, let's see. Still initializing. Let me see what this guy is doing now. This guy, na yeah, guy. This one is still creating. Like, as can you imagine? It's now back. I'm sure it will have dropped the
Endpoint.
points now. It will have dropped the endpoint now. Yeah, stupid guy.
Okay.
Well, we've moved on. We moved on from this. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. Where is it? My config. We've moved on. So let me just upload. Let me just upload for upload sake. Um, I don't know yet. What's happening? What's happening? I can't upload. Okay, this one should have finished by now. So let's refresh this and quickly create. In fact, I wanted us to finish by 9 o'clock. But, Is it my network? I don't understand. This thing is too slow. Okay, so let me create AMI image. CF image, right? CF image. Okay. Create image. Are we together?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Alright, so this other AI bucket is working now, so let me just upload what I wanted to upload and close. I'm not using it. I'm using my instance. So let's see if our AMI is done creating. It's pending. Let me give it a name. Save. Okay, pending. Okay. Okay, it's now available. So let me go back to my instance and launch an instance from the AMI. CF Web Server 2. So I'm loading from my AMI. Yeah. Let's move on. Using network settings, VPC I just created. Alright, so this is supposed to be in 1B availability zone because the first I created was in 1A. So the security group, I'm going to be using Cloudfront security group. So which one? Which of these two? Let me check. CF. So I think it has to be that second one. with dash.
Does your toothpaste give you complete fresh protection? New Close-Up Toothpaste Complete Fresh Protection takes care of your 5 important oral care needs.
Okay, let's move on. Are you guys with me?
Yes.
I hope I'm not alone. Okay. Let's just
Notes.
okay.
Teeth deeply, fights bacteria,
Shut down behavior, terminates. Then what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Okay, let me launch my instance. I'm creating an image from an existing instance, so I don't think I need to put that. I don't need to put that user data. So let's see. Let's view instance. So let's test this instance. Let's see if it's running now. It's supposed to be running if there's no problem. And you guys, do you know that we are using a customized VPC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this first instance is running already. So let's check the second instance. And this should still be initializing. Okay. So I think I can go ahead to start creating um my load balancer. But I want to load balance this. Okay, my load balancer. Okay, I can even create my target group first. Let me create my target group first so that when I'm creating my load balancer, I can easily select the target group.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, let me see. These ones. Let me just put two. Next. Okay, no name. Cloudfront targets. Target group. No available instance. Why? Why? I have two instances that should be available by now. I should have two instances available by now. Okay, let me create target group. Let's see. I can still come back to add. Why am I not seeing my guy? Why? Okay, so let's see. Is the other one running as well now? So let's see. Okay. Yeah, it's taking time to initialize because it's trying to load up the application. It's trying to load up the application. So let's wait a while. But this target group, why is it not showing anything? Okay, so the second one is running as well. So let me check if we can access the if we can access the application. So the application is working as well. Application is working. So let me move on to my load balancer. Create load balancer. Create application load balancer. Cloudfront load balancer. Internet facing IPv4. This US is 1A, 1B. Okay. Security group. I'm not using the default security group. I'm going to create a new security group for my load balance. Do I need a new security group for the load balancer? Okay, let me just make use of what I have. I can actually create a different security group for my load balancer, but I think I can make use of it since it has access to. Or no, let me do this. Let me create a new security group. Let's create a new security group for our load balancer.
Okay.
Load balancer SG. You know the reason why I didn't want to use that, right?
You said?
VPs. I said, you know the reason why I don't want to use that other load balancer. I mean, that other security group.
Because of the
Because
access.
that, yeah, because that one has SSH, and it's for the EC2 instance. So by the time I want to streamline, restrict access, it would be kind of difficult. It will be kind of difficult. So let me just use this from anywhere and add HTTPS from anywhere.
Okay.
So I only need HTTP and HTTPS here, not I don't need SSH. So that's why I need to create a fresh one. So let's go back here and refresh load balancer SG. So I'm removing these defaults. Let's move on. So my my target group, my target group, um, my target group. Let me see what my target group will do here now. And to register targets. Wow, why is this guy not bringing up targets? No problem, no problem. Load balancer. So let me just create a target group for you. I think I can even delete this other one since it's not useful for anything. It's not useful for anything, so I'm going to delete you, guy. Delete. Yeah, useful for nothing. So let's go on. CF project VPC. Okay. Health check. Next. Yeah. Next. Who is trying to join? Hey, they just trying to join. Okay. So look at this. You have two guys running already here. So let's just add them as include as pending below. You know how we do this, right? Okay, so let's create target group. Our target group has been created. So let's refresh this and select CF target group. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. I think that will be all from here. Then we create our load balancer. Let's view load balancer. Okay, still positioning. Once it's done provision, Deji, good evening. Once it's done provisioning, we go ahead to launch. Go ahead to launch our URL. Then I'll streamline permissions and then we'll move on to Cloudfront. We'll quickly create our Cloudfront. So I want you to be attentive when we are creating Cloudfront. So by the time you guys are doing it on your own, you won't have any issue. It's very simple though. Very simple. So once this guy is done provisioning, okay, this is still provisioning. Just a moment. So let me close this since I'm not using RDS again. Let me close this up. Let me close this guy up as well. Let me just what else am I closing up? Let me do this. EC2 instance. Load balancer is still provision. Okay, it's active now. So let me try my application. Let's see if it's running. Okay, our application is working on the load balancer. Yeah. So let's streamline permissions. I want to streamline permissions. Security group. Security group. Okay. And I think it should be this security group. I want to streamline permissions on security group. Edit inbound rules. So only the load balancer security group should be talking to this. Load balancer SG should be talking to this. Okay, okay. Okay, I'm deleting these two guys. So I'm adding a rule HTTP load balancer SG, and I'll add additional rule. so that you won't be able to access, while we're doing this, you won't be able to access the application via the EC2 instance URL. So only via the load balancer. Yeah. So we save rules and we try this again. Where's my load balancer? So let me see if this is still working. Okay, this is still working. So let me check my EC2 instance URL. Let's see. Let's confirm that it's not working again. Let's confirm that it's not working again. Wow, it's still working. Why? Why is it still working? Chelsea, why is it still working? Let me check my security group. CF security group. It's not supposed to be working. It's not supposed to be working. Let's try it again. It's not supposed to be working. Yeah, it's not supposed to be working. So let's wait for it to finish loading. I want to test the second one as well. Okay. I see that it's not working again. So let me try the second one as well. So we can only access our application. Why? I think it's using the last energy that it has received. They're using their last energy to run, so it's not supposed to run again. So let me close this and run it again. It's not supposed to open again. All right, so now that we are done with this, let's move on to quickly create Cloudfront. This one will not work. So let's see. Cloud. That's our main aim for tonight. Cloudfront. Search for Cloudfront in services. Let's search for Cloudfront. Okay. So once you get to Cloudfront, create a Cloudfront distribution. Okay. Then we'll select an origin domain. An origin domain is are you guys with me? Just in 10 minutes we should be done. Origin domain. An origin domain is like okay, yeah. An origin domain is like um the URL of your application that is already running, like the URL of your load balancer. You're already running an application. So the URL of your application is what your origin will mean. So we'll choose an origin domain. An origin domain can also be like your static website on S3 bucket. Okay. So let's see. Okay, CF load balancer. Can you see it here? So, and you can see S3 buckets as well. So it could be your S3, but probably you deploy your static website on S3 buckets. You can pick any of the ones that's working as a static website. But for this exercise, we are choosing the load balancer because that's where we have our dynamic website. So I'm selecting this, so, and you can see that it has already populated the load balancer URL. Okay. So for origin parts, assuming like in the case of assuming we are using now, assuming we are using that database, I mean the application that has database, the way its own URL used to work. The way we used to configure its own URL to access the application is via public, then you remember, right? Index.php, right? You remember?
Yeah, or install.php.
No, install.php is to initialize the application.
Okay.
But to access the application itself is via public index.php. You remember?
Okay.
All right. So now in such instance, where is my where is it? Okay, this is yeah. All right. So in that case, this is what we would have. This is what we would have for our origin part. Our origin part will now be slash public slash index.php. Assuming we are using that other application. Yeah. So origin part would be like a path to where your application is supposed to run from. So, but for this one, we don't have that. So we're going to leave it empty because we're not using the application with database. So now we'll leave order as default. Enable origin shift, no. Let's see what is in additional settings. Connection attempts. So this is based on your preference. The number of times that platform attempts to connect to the origin. Origin is your application's URL. Okay. And it
Okay.
can also be www.benny.com, www.chelsea.com. You understand? That way. So let's see. Um, compress object automatically. I would not change anything here. Viewer protocol, HTTP and HTTPS. Allowed HTTP method get add. So this one would be dependent on um, what your application is doing. Assuming we are deploying an endpoint, an API, or an application that requires a hair, like that application with database now. Assuming that's the one we are deleting, that will requires delete, input something, and all sorts. You can select this last one. But for an application that only requires that you just view the website and all sorts, you can just use get it. Restrict viewer access. No, we'll leave it as no. We'll leave this as no. Create catch key and origin request. We'll leave this as the recommended catching optimized. Origin request policy is optional. It's not compulsory. Response header is not compulsory.
That means for a dynamic website, we can use the last option. But for a
Yeah,
static, we
yeah.
use the first option.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So choose you know if your origin is configured to use Microsoft. This one, I think this one is a new feature. Let me see. It's a new feature, I guess. Let's leave this as no as well. Enable real-time logs. I'm not enabling real-time logs. Like creating
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. It's okay.
using
It's
your
okay.
application on edge location. Is that okay? Let's move on. AWS um, web application firewall. This one is optional. It's not compulsory. Alternate domain name. This one is not compulsory as well. Alternate domain name can mean your www dot. Assuming in the first place you had already added www dot. What you can use here. What you can use here. What you can use here. Your alternate domain name can be www.penny.com, whereas your um your application is reading from a load balance. Your application is being load balanced, yeah. You understand? Your application is being load balanced, that's correct. But for this common name, what you would now have here is if you want to add item, that would means you have configured your application to talk to www.benny.com. Like such that when you launch benny.com, this is what you would have. You would have we will get to that point maybe in the next next two classes thereabout. So your application would have been configured to view this when you launch www.benny.com. You understand? So that www.benny.com that you had configured is what you will now have. That's why I said you might need to get it's not compulsory, but you can get a domain name, register a domain name. And I told you the amount already. So alternate domain name, you can have www.benny.com or any other chelsea.com that you are doing. For SSL certificate, this would be if you want your application to be secured, you can add a certificate. You can add a certificate. Default note object, standard login of IP version 6, description. So I'm going to create my description straight up. Let's see. So it's currently deploying. So that's all with Cloudfront actually. That's all with Cloudfront. So let's wait for it to finish deploying, and we use this URL to access our application. We use this to access our application. I hope I didn't miss anything out. Let's wait for this to be done. Let me just go to my distribution. So I'm going to be accessing my application with this. It's still deploying. So let's wait for it to finish deploying. So once my application works on the Cloudfront, that means we are done. So I hope you understand how we took this step by step. It's a long process, but that's the way it works. So you can go through. I'm sure you are recording, right? So you can go through the video again and check how we concluded this. I'm waiting for it to finish deploying, then we run the application and we are done. We are over 2 hours already. I never wanted us to take this long, but here we are. I'm sure if I'm doing this alone, or probably if the internet is quite better, I would have finished a long time ago. Any question?
Sorry, please, is the class recorded?
Oh, really?
Yeah, DG. Penny is recording the class. I'm not sure of my own recording, but Penny is recording the class.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello.
Sorry?
So let me refresh these. Okay. It's still deploying. Let's wait for it. Almost there. What's that? Okay, now it's done. It's done. So fingers crossed. Let's try our application. Fingers crossed. Ooh, guys, it worked. It worked. And you know the funny thing? Why? How? My
Yeah, it
can
is
you see that
encrypted.
my application is actually secured?
Yeah.
How did we come about this? Damn. I did not had any certificates. I didn't even use HTTPS. So how come? The guy added HTTPS by itself. Damn. Wow. Well, I've not seen it work like this. How how it works, I don't. I think when I was deploying my when I was deploying this, I told it to route to either HTTP or HTTPS, and I think it selected HTTPS. So let me see. I think I selected something like that. Let me go back to my distribution. Let me see origin. It's actually showing as skills. Wow. Behaviors, HTTP and HTTPS viewer protocol. But actually, my application is not running on HTTPS. So I wonder how it was able to do that. Wow. This is interesting. So my application is actually secured. Connection is secured. Let me see which certificate is he using? Oh, it's using an automatic certificate from Cloudfront.
Yeah.
Wow. I love this. This makes sense. This makes nice sense. Like makes sense a lot. Wow. I think they've improved on this thing. They've really improved on this cloud front. This makes sense. Wow.
Why you were
Wow.
explaining this at first, the CloudFront? You said it provides security.
Yeah, I know it provides. Of course, you are not accessing a load balancer directly now. You are accessing the load balancer via CloudFront. So you are not even giving your customers or your users the load balancer URL. You are only giving them this CloudFront URL. You understand?
Yeah.
So of course, it's an additional security on its own. But the part where I don't understand, and which I'm concluding that AWS had already done an upgrade. They've done an upgrade on CloudFront. Is where it was able to attach a security certificate, an SSL certificate, and my application is now secured when I did not actually secure the application to work on HTTPS. You understand? I didn't secure it to work on. Because on a normal day, if I'm going to secure this, I'm supposed to attach a security certificate, like an SSL certificate. But for me, CloudFront had already added their own certificate, which is obviously working for me because I'm accessing via the CloudFront URL, which makes sense. It's made a lot of sense to me, and I love this. I think
How long
I've
is
done.
it valid for?
Is that
How long is it valid for the encryption?
the encryption is till 2023, so I can leave my application running here till 2023, and I'm fine.
Ah, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
year.
So it makes sense. So I hope you guys will be able to get through this. Make sure your application is working just the way mine is working. Shikena. So fingers crossed. I'm waiting to receive your own result as well. So share the URL with me when you are done. I want to see if it's actually secured. I want to see if it's actually secured. So guys, we are done.
Okay.
Any question? Any question? So this is I love this. This is good for me. This is good. Uh, I never expected that I would get a secured. No. I never expected this. But it's nice. It's nice having this. I must delete this thing tonight. I must delete it tonight. Or let me just start from let me go and delete my NAT gateway. That will be the major thing. Now I can leave this till tomorrow, but this NAT gateway, I can't leave it. Where's my NAT gateway? Okay, so guys, no question, right? So we can call it a day.
Sorry, sir. I have one issue,
Okay.
but this may like draw you back a bit. Like today I contacted Benny and she assisted me with like the main issue. But like there was still another issue that I don't know that I
Okay.
noticed. So I don't know if I can share my screen.